Comments from Chelsea fans before and after facing Newcastle United. In the pre-match, Chelsea fans complaining about a lack of goals, needing to spend money, have just agreed to pay £60 million for Christian Pulisic, a lack of entertainment, a lack of decisions by match officials going their way, a lack of trophies, lack of a credible goal-scorer, and so on. Remember, this is a club in the Premier League top 4, favourites to win the Europa League, in the semi-finals of the League Cup, and have a home tie against Luton or Sheffield to go into 5th round of FA Cup. Anyway, despite beating Newcastle 2-1, their mood doesn't appear to have really improved much, if at all, judging by their post-match comments. Indeed, they appear to want to credit the victory to Newcastle being support, rather than anything positive their team did, despite 2 excellent goals. Especially interesting to see that they haven't missed the ridiculous Rio Ferdinand comments on Mike Ashley and Newcastle United, overwhelmingly sympathetic when UFC and scathing about Ferdinand, although you always get one. Comments from Chelsea fans via their Shed and CFC Net message boards. Pre-match, I hate the barcodes. The next 48 hours, looking forward to this one. I live in Newcastle and a few of the guys in work are hardcore fans, might try and watch the game with them in the pub and hopefully see us stuff them 5-0. They will park the bus and I worry about us scoring, as we just are not potent up front. 6-0 and seeing Morata's last hat-trick before he's off. Barcodes under Fatty will seat very deep, just the same as Sotone did. Doesn't matter whom the personnel are on Saturday, the manager has to figure out how to break these kind of deep blocking defensive frustration tactics. In the last 2 months he has had limited success with this kind of team game. There are a lot of signs that Sarri is actually working well and doing a very good job in trying to get the right balance. Some just don't want to see it. I'd like Hudson-Odoi play purely because, as a street holder who rarely does cup games these days, I've not yet seen him the flesh. Purely selfish and now to do with 4 more tactics. Post-match, Rio Ferdinand was saying if Ashley is looking to sell Newcastle, why would he invest tens of millions into the squad when it won't affect the value of the club? Thought he made a reasonable argument. Personally, if they're looking at the championship next season, I'm pretty sure it will affect the value of the sale. Rio Ferdinand is an absolute moron. Defending Mike Ashley on BT, must be just a coincidence that his shish clothing range is sold exclusively in Ashley sports shops. Oh, and he said this. What if Ashley spent £30 million on a midfielder and £30 million on a striker and they both get injured? That's a waste of £60 million. That's hilarious. Anybody could use that argument to never buy anything ever again. Broken toaster? What if you buy a new one that breaks as well? That's a waste of £20. My wife wants to move house. I said, why pay £300,000 for a house? A plane could break down and crash into it tomorrow. Apart from the ongoing zonal marking issues at the back that led to Barcode's equalizer, I thought it was overall a good performance. Fatty surprised me by having them be more adventurous and press up high a lot. FFs, they had nearly 40% possession. I'm not convinced by Sarri. I'm happy to give him time to see if we improve, but my thoughts are that the intensity of the EPL is just too high for Sarri's precise passing game. We need to be more direct when faced by opposition that play like Newcastle did today, particularly the first half. Well, we got 3 points and solidified our 4th spot, yet it seemed hard work. At halftime, despite our overwhelming possession, we had the same shots as Newcastle. Something is clearly not working when teams come here to park the bus. That was poor today. Maybe some of them hoped Newcastle would just give up when we got the first. We still aren't looking convincing enough. We were dire for a lot of that game, and this Newcastle team is dreadful. No reason why we should be struggling to beat these. Something definitely needs to change against teams who play 5-4-1 with high intensity. Fortunately, Newcastle couldn't keep it up for the 90 minutes. Please Sarri, no more false 9. Hazard doesn't enjoy it. We don't enjoy it. It's no better than playing Giroud or Morata, so let's just stick with the sticker and let Hazard play in his best position. I just heard the fans at the bridge cheer him and he noticed it too. Another win, Newcastle limited to one very awkward to make shot from outside the box which barely reached KEPA, and a couple of headers, either of which might have gone anywhere, but one of which just happened to finish inches inside the post. Could easily ended up a 3-0 walkover but for a few inches here, and a few tenths of seconds there. Good performance and we will get better this season. Another one of those annoying games where for 35 minutes the opposition didn't make a game of it and for the other 10 looked like they were all over us. At this stage one supposed 3 points is all that matters, especially when we have to win every game perfectly when everyone around us gets cheap penalties and marginal offside decisions to ease their way. More of a case of Newcastle not deserving anything than us deserving 3 points. Nonetheless, I get a feeling the fans are turning against Sarri. A succession of games like this and they will be calling for his head. We have no style or cohesion in this game, just as well Newcastle are poor and we scored a couple of individual goals.